Good morning, everybody. It is bush fishing and it's once again a late start, but we have a lot to get done today. Now, if you guys are new here, I'm bush fishing. I make lots of fishing videos, outboard repair, boat building, as you'll see. If you guys have been keeping up with the series, this is my 1790 Lakeland Pro. I bought this boat for $150 and we've done a lot to it already. If you guys haven't seen the past few episodes, I'll give you a quick recap. Basically, the decks were cut out, rotted out, whatever. We ended up replacing the decks, fiberglassing them, and in the last video, we made the new storage compartments and we extended the front deck to give us a bit more room and some more storage. So if you guys want to see that and catch up, go ahead and watch the other couple of videos. But in today's video, and probably the next one, it is going to be mainly the transom. Now, this was the biggest part of the boat that I was worried about. As you can see, the transom's completely ripped out already. Every piece of this was rotted. It was basically mulch. And the hard part of this is going to be, as you can see right here, the fiberglass behind it failed. So normally how this works is you leave the inner layer of fiberglass and all of your wood and everything gets stuck to that. And it's honestly kind of a simple process, but I didn't get that lucky. So since the inner fiberglass failed, I had no idea how I was going to do it. And last night I was just sitting there thinking, and I actually had an idea that I think is going to work. It is going to take a lot of work. I'm going to have to bust my ass today in order to get at least some done. My goal for the end of the day is to have one piece of wood cut out and fit to go in the transom. Don't know if we're gonna get there, but I'm gonna bust my ass, so hopefully we will. And tomorrow, hopefully, I want to have basically the core of the transom done, so then all that's left is to put the outer layer of glass back on, and then this boat will be ready for the water and it's gonna fly back together super quick. But in order for me to start this, I need to rip out the entire back deck. Originally I was gonna leave this, but I was thinking about it. I really don't like how the storage is set up and everything in it. I just want to completely redo it. So what my plan is, I'm gonna rip out the back deck, and then the damage starts or stops right here. So you can see where it's shifted completely. It stops right here, and if I cut out to here, we'll have access to that. So what I'm gonna do is cut all of this out, have access to the front, cut that whole section out, get the piece of wood fitted in, and then I'm going to glass it from the inside as well as the outside and everything else. So that's my plan for now. I could just do something kind of sketchy and shove some wood in there, but I really want this to be a solid boat because I do plan on using it for a long time, or maybe selling it, and I don't want the person that gets it to be unhappy and have a transom rip their motor out, or motor rip out their transom. So I'm going to switch clothes because it's already super hot out. It's only supposed to be 80 today, but it's still super hot compared to the 90s that we've been having. But tomorrow is going to be a perfect day for glassing, 72 degrees. So hopefully I'm going to have stuff ready for me to start laying my 1708. But let's get you guys on the time lapse, get all set up, and start cutting out this whole back deck.
Times and I can't get out. Down in the deep of my mind, I call for you and you're always.
Alright, so quick update for everybody. Sorry it's super bright. So I was having some GoPro problems. It was overheating, which I've never seen that happen, and it was just dying because it wasn't charging, stuff like that. So I took a little break, let it charge for a little bit. We're gonna get right back into it. But what you just saw, I cut out pretty much the entire back deck to give me access to this transom, and it was messed up, and I'm super glad that I did because a lot of that wood under there was rotted. So that's all gonna get replaced. But what I need to do now is get rid of this foam up here, clean up all the fiberglass around it so it's just one big open cavity, And then I think I'm going to start sanding down the sides and everything and making sure that everything is completely cleaned out, and that's when I can start cutting the wood. Now, first sheet of wood, I think what I'm going to do is cut it out, get everything fit up perfectly, and then what I'm going to have to do is build new plywood for here. And in here, the wood's gonna go all the way back and connect to back there as like a stringer, and then it's gonna get tabbed into the actual transom for extra strength. So once that's done, then it's pretty much just all putting in new pieces for the transom and then basically finishing up the transom. And it sounds easy, but I still have a lot of work ahead of me, and it is super hot on, and I was wearing that respirator and it was like snorkeling in salt water. I kept getting sweat in my eye and it was burning. And one thing I forgot to do was put on a long sleeve while I was doing all that, so I kind of screwed myself. A trick to getting fiberglass out of your skin is take duct tape and slap it on and rip it off like you're waxing yourself, and it comes out, but it still is itching. So I'm gonna get a long sleeve on and just sweat my balls off and get the rest of this finished up so I can get it cleaned up. And then I really want to have at least one sheet of plywood into the transom, so hopefully we'll do that. Might take a little break to eat soon, I'm getting hungry, but let's get to it. I have it all laid out, so what I'm going to do is grab the level and I'm going to cut out the cardboard like 4 inches out from where that is, which is going to be bigger than what I need, but it'll give me room to cut it down exactly to what I need. And then the cardboard will be the template for the wood for me to start getting the transom ready. It's not ready yet. I got most of the stuff out. It needs to be sanded more and completely like ground down and shit, but for now I'm going to do this with what Gopro battery I have, and we'll start fitting the cardboard in.
Do you remember how you held me then? Now you got me reaching out. And do you see you got me falling in more times than I can get out? Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, how long do I got to keep you? Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, trying so hard not to keep you.
Alrighty, everybody, I just recorded this entire update with music going. So basically, as you guys saw in the time lapse, I have the one piece of wood fitted up completely. That's going to be the inner piece. It fits pretty good. I actually made a pretty big bonehead mistake, and there's a little gap in the middle, so I'm gonna have to cut another piece of wood and do that. But I dicked up the blade on the circular saw, so I'm probably gonna have to do it with the jigsaw. Anyway, what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna start mixing up resin. I'm gonna patch up all these holes and stuff, and once that's done, I'm gonna let it dry, and I'm gonna start working on the second piece of plywood. For the outer piece, it's going to be 3/4 inch treated plywood, not marine grade or anything, just regular treated plywood. But while that dries, I'll do that, and then I'll come back, sand everything down, and then I'm damn near going to be ready to fill up the corners with that resin with the silica in it, and then get that piece of wood in and have her glued up and clamped down and let it sit. And then I should be pretty close to getting ready to put the other piece of wood on. And once that's done, I can work on the inside, all that inner structure, stuff like that, and putting the outside on. I think my brain's starting to not work because I'm very hot and dehydrated. But yeah, it went pretty good so far. I did have a little hiccup. I didn't have one piece pushed all the way to the corner, so now there's like a 3/4 inch gap in the middle of the two pieces. So what I think I'm going to do is fill that with a little 3/4 inch strip of wood and then glass over that. It shouldn't be too big of a problem, hopefully. But yeah, back to work. I'm going to get a drink and then sit for a second and back to it. Okay, so this time I'm going to do things different. I'm going to do the same thing, put the resin on the actual wood and on the boat side, but I'm going to mix up the thickened epoxy. I'm going to mix up a bunch of it because last time I didn't get it as thick. I'm going to put it in a bag and I'm going to pipe it in like a cake in all the cracks and everything, and then I'm going to slam the wood in. Holy crap. Then I'm going to slam the wood in instead of trying to do it after because that didn't work too well. I'm not too worried about that because that's going to get glass over everything. It's going to end up super strong either way. But I do want to have that gap completely filled. So hopefully piping it in like this gets a nice squish out. And we should be good. So I'm going to mix up resin first, put it all on the wood, put it all on the boat. Then I'm going to mix up another batch, same amount, put in the silica. We should be good. Alright everybody, so that was a pain in the dick to get done, but it is done. So as you can see, my focus goes, I got it clamped up and I got wedges in there. Honestly, should have probably gotten more clamps. I do have more, I was just too lazy to get them. Got a bunch of wedges, so this gap right here is perfectly 3/4 all the way around. I'm gonna have to do some sanding because I got some of the thickened epoxy in there. Now all I need to do is get a 3/4 inch piece of plywood to go in there and a whole hell of a lot of thickened epoxy, and it should be completely filled up. But for right now I think I'm going to take a little break and then I'm going to come back out and fiberglass over this gap right here that I made. That's my oopsies where there was that too big of a gap. It was supposed to be completely touching, but I screwed up, so that's going to get glassed over. And then I think I'm going to mix up another batch of the thickened epoxy and go through all of this because as you can see right here, I covered that gap and it hardened up real good and it's super solid. So I need to do that all the way around before I start laying the 1708 over and into this, because that's what's really going to strengthen this. And along the whole inside, it's going to get filled with that gap filler and the 1708, and I'm going to put it everywhere. So this should be super strong. But for now, there's not much I can do. I can't get started on the second sheet or get it cut out or anything. Well, I might be picking that up later. But yeah, I think I am going to come back out and get this whole thing fiberglassed and ready. So tomorrow I can cut out that piece and get the second sheet in and then just start making it super strong. Hopefully this transom should be pretty close to done tomorrow. That's what I'm hoping for. But for now, take a quick break and come back out here in a little bit and finish up this video.
Do you remember how you held me then? Now you got me reaching out. And do you see you got me falling in more times than I can get out? Down in the deep of my mind.
Alright everybody, that is going to do it for this video. Now, no, this was probably a long one, but it kind of had to be. I had a lot to do today, and I kind of busted my balls all day. Spent all day out here, but thankfully it wasn't as hot. Tomorrow's going to be super nice. Perfect fiberglass weather, 72-degree high. So basically what I finished off with at the end is I laid the 1708 over the crease in the middle. This is already going off, and along the whole bottom I've got the 1708, and now tomorrow I'm going to have to do a lot of filling with the gap filler. I'm going to have to mix up a bunch of that. I didn't want to do that tonight, but all of this is going to get filled, and I'm going to put a fillet in here and on the entire bottom side down here. So that's going to fill it up and seal it from water on the inside, and I'm going to have to do all of that in this crack. I'm going to really load it up and then put in the final piece of wood. And then we're going to be pretty close to done with this whole transom. But that's going to be in the next episode. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. You want some bush fishing merch down below. You want to see something in this boat, comment now. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.